it's been 2 years and change that I've been reviewing Doctor Who now on this channel, and the war between the land and the sea somehow manages to simultaneously be better than the Ncuti Gatwa run of Doctor Who, and yet still so appallingly bad, so appallingly cringe, so naive and ham-fisted in its messaging that you honestly, I don't want you to watch this show, okay? If I like you people, I don't want you to do this to yourselves. I'll take it for the team, and you guys can decide how you feel like repaying me in kind. But there we go. So, episode 3 of The War Between Nothing and Less is bluntly boring as hell, for the most part. Almost nothing happens for almost the entire run, and then suddenly everything happens in the last 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes, 2 minutes maybe. It's still one of the better episodes though, you know, in terms of what they actually made. It actually has like a plot that gets seen through. There are little arcs and some twists too. None of them I care about. All of them are thrown under the bus by the unbearable weight of this socialist messaging, this globalist crap that we're having to deal with, not to mention the cartoonish evil of the villains. Seriously, it's like watching wacky races or Dastardly and Muttley in their flying machines. It's so stupid. Like, you've got people who are literally smiling at their own evil plans, and their evil plans are just basically, we should probably kill these fish before they kill us, which is a completely justifiable position to have in this war between the land and the sea. By the way, at some point, someone actually says that line in the episode, which is, it's really cringe. I don't know why I feel like it's the best one of the 3 so far. It's still really terrible. I try to sort of separate them on some sort of hierarchy in my head so that I can get my point across to you fine people, which is best, which is worst, within the realm that this is absolute dog shit from start to finish, and no one should go anywhere near it. As I said, almost nothing of consequence happens, and what does happen feels rushed, staged, which is weird because of course it's not real, but somehow it still feels emotionally weightless, even when there are tragedies and established characters will suffer. It's weird. Large chunks of the episode consist of people standing around or sitting around talking. I suppose it's supposed to humanize them, but it doesn't. It feels like you're wasting my time. And the show just sort of congratulates itself over and over again for its constant seriousness and self-importance when it comes to hammering home the globo-enviro messaging, which just makes me want to open a vein at all times. Because honest to God, guys, you can just look outside and see that nothing's really changed in the last 30 years, despite the never-ending doomsaying from the left. Maybe if they didn't do that, we'd all take it a little bit more seriously, but they did, and so that's the way it has to go. We're all sick of it at this point. And then the show is just beating you over the head with this very, very, very deep-rooted political perspective that everything is the fucking globalist agenda, and it makes you sick to watch it. It really does. It makes you feel like the world is going to end at any moment, and then you sort of look out the window, like I said, and you go, oh wait, no, birds are singing, the tides are flowing, everything seems to be all right, you know. But there we go. The only real energy, as I said, comes from politicians, military figures, and corporate interests, because you know, they're evil. They're not well written at all. They're portrayed as cartoonishly evil, like big top hat and mustache evil. You know, tie the lady to the train tracks, laughing raucously to yourself, that kind of evil. They are so evil that they end up being kind of the best thing about the episode, because every time I see some malevolent capitalist dog, you know, swirling his mustache and going, oh, we must kill the fish because they are stopping me from dumping chemicals, it just makes me go, yeah, go on, get them, get those fish, you know, just because I don't want the sanctimony of everything else coming into my eardrums. But there it is. Pardon the phrasing, by the way. Ugh. But there we are. That's where it is. It's really kind of funny in places because of how stupidly evil these people really are, and they shouldn't be. Everyone else ranges, of course, from bafflingly naive to actively irritating, and that's the show. That's the war between the land and the sea. That is Rusty Tin Dildo these days, guys. That's what he does. He just beats you over the head with his political perspectives and calls it entertainment. Well, I don't call it that. I call it absolute bollocks. And that's what we're here to sift through. So obviously I'm going through the non-spoilers section of the review at the moment, as I will be going into the good, the bad, and the very soon. But that will be the spoiler section as always, so make sure you are prepared. As if anyone cares what happens in this fucking show. All right, anyway. As I say, the only real energy is from the politicians and the fat cats, who are unintentionally the funniest and best thing about the show. Apart from, I will shout out Russell Tovey. Still now 3 episodes in, playing this feckless idiot. And yet somehow, even as he continues to throw humanity under the bus and side with the fish, I can't help but kind of like him a little bit. You know, he's the only likable thing in the whole show. Yeah. That, and then there's this like South African guy in the episode who's, well, he's very unassuming and overly friendly, which raised my eyebrow immediately, and with good reason, actually, as it turns out. But anyway, there's also an aggressively telegraphed romantic tension in it, which has led me to wonder if I am, in fact, going to get my narrative completion that I've been calling for months now, where inevitably Russell Tovey and Gugu Batha-Raw are going to make out. A man and a fish woman are going to make out in this show. I will be shocked if they do not make out at some point in this show. The romantic / almost sexual tension is off the charts in a couple of scenes in this episode, so I am definitely expecting to see Wet Side Story before the end of this. They're even straight up ripping off, almost, I'm probably not wholesale ripping off, but very closely copying dialogue from, you know, Avatar, Pocahontas, Ferngully, Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story, all of them. It's all derivative as all hell. It's not worth watching. It's absolute garbage. It's trash. It's trash. It's trash. So there we go. As long as my Wet Side Story theory is completed by Christmas, I'll be, I don't know, 2 or 3% happier than I would otherwise have been. But, you know, that's significant. Anyway, the episode ends exactly the way that I thought it would. Predictably, cynical humans are doing nasty, malevolent things that kind of landed on me with more of a shrug than a shock, unfortunately. I saw it coming a mile away. You would too, but don't. Basically, just nothing surprising. Nothing earned, just more smug inevitability. Anyway, there we go. We've got a whole plot to go through for the good, the bad, and the And honestly, you can skip like the first 10 minutes of this. It's a recap, then it's the politicians, the trash rain, go to the sea, get in the sea. Russell Tovey is going to get in the sea. There's the dramatic ass titles, the washed out blue palette, no one cares. No one cares. A helicopter. Then there's this guy, the South African fella. Everyone's reporting for duty to the HM Naval Blackport, which is destroyed immediately by, and I'm sorry, I've had enough now. It really is time for Colin McFarlane to stop with the American accents, okay? He's not good at them. He sounds like a parody of a DJ, you know? He goes, "Welcome to Blackport." And it's so over the top. Americans don't sound like that. It's like when they try to do a British accent and they sound like, "Oh, you guys, would you like a spot of tea?" You know, it's like that. It's a terrible American accent. It is not convincing in the slightest. In the slightest. Go back to playing fucking yardies on the Fast Show, buddy. Stick to what you're good at. I like this guy. I've liked his career. I've liked most of the things he's done, but this drives me crazy. Every time someone's talking, and everybody else, of course, is British, so they're all talking in a normal sort of British accent, one way or another, more normal than mine anyway, and then suddenly out of nowhere, "Welcome to Blackport." And it's like, will you shut up, mate? Anyway, I just can't anymore with that accent. We proceed. They're all, you know, they're actually paying a certain amount of due diligence to the fact that, oh great, is it frozen already? No, there we go. Let me change this up. I'll put the screen on display because this is where we go. So they do a little bit of what I would call due diligence to the fact that they definitely need to be trained for what they're about to have to do. But at the same time, I don't care about any of these characters, and now they're having to bring in a bunch of new ones. So we see them all training and talking about the mission, the submersible that they're going to be using, which they just sort of suddenly have. So this submersible has existed for a while now. They're borrowing it from someone or other. I don't know. Maybe I was just not paying that much attention at this point. But whatever, they've got the fucking submarine now. So fair enough. They're going to go down 5 miles further than anyone ever. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, everyone's sitting around. This is the team. We get this whiny-ass Indian guy who does not want to be there at all. He is a total bitch the whole way through the episode. Always crying when, oh, this is going to be so bad. I don't want to go. We're all going to die. You know, it fucking is like that. But it doesn't matter anyway, because apparently India lost the lottery and he has to go. And the other guy, I think, is South African, which I'm going to assume, as he's white, means he's a racist. But he's also just really nice and jolly and charming and light-hearted and in very good spirit about his impending odyssey to the sea floor. He's the only likable character, actually, apart from Tovi, which, of course, means that he's going to be a bad guy, surely. You know, that's what I was thinking anyway. I don't trust this guy. He's too nice. RTD never writes characters like this unless they're evil bastards. So, there you go. Anyway, we get on. Kate's here. Here she is again, doing her thing, bossing people around. I'm getting so sick and tired of Kate Lethbridge-Stewart now, man. I am so fed up with this character. She's so boring. She's so by the numbers now. She's so left-wing. It's unbearable. She's an absolute disgrace to her father, the Brigadier. And because he would never have put up with this. She is the, like, apart from Barclay himself, she is the #1 fan on the planet of the fucking Sea Devils. And she wants them to win. She wants us to give up everything. And it's like, okay, Kate, should we just die then? Would you like that? Should we just piss off and die somewhere? You know? We're not going to give them any. We're not going to keep any water for ourselves, Kate. No, okay. Well, you know, I guess we're all dead then, aren't we? Anyway, we'll get to that. But this is all just seeming ridiculously hurried and taking a really long time. At the same time, it's bizarre that it happens. But anyway, before you get this scene where Russell Tovey and his wife, the bitch wife, Barbara, whatever, and the kid with no gender apparently are worrying about him, which is, I suppose, nice considering what a bitch she was to him in episode 1, but whatever. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. We'll keep moving. They are studying, blah, blah. Then the guy's there. He's really nice again, really friendly, really nice. His name's Ted. And that's why I remember his name, because I didn't hate him. Well, you might by the end, but we'll see. I also kind of get him. So, then, of course, we see Barclay freaking out. Now, this is all played. Like, you do get these kinds of almost well-paced scenes where he's just contemplating the fact that he's decided he's going to do something more dangerous than basically anybody on Earth has ever done before, apart from maybe the moon landing. But that, is where we're at. And he is... he's just thinking about it, and there's this conversation between him and Sergeant, what is it, General fucking whatever his name is. Hang on, let me get the subtitles on the screen for you guys. There we go. Let's do this. Let's get it back. All right, here we go. There it is. Okay, hopefully we can see some subtitles now. That would be nice. Are we going to get subtitles? Anyone going to talk? No one? Hello? Got something to... There we go. All right, so he's not really listening to anything. He tells him you got to do your will, and so he just plunges himself into the water and screams in almost silence, which actually not bad. Again, Russell Tovey, only likable thing about this show. Regardless, it doesn't matter, because pretty soon we're going to be getting... Well, actually, no, I suppose this bit was all right as well, kind of, because he's pretending that, like, he's okay, he's doing fine, he says he's got it, he nursed his mum through cancer, he's going to be fine, stiff upper lip, and then finally he just says, you know what, I'm really fucking scared. And that's actually... It's okay. The kid stops being a little bitch to him as well. And then he gives himself about 5 seconds of terror and then sort of mans up again, which again I don't hate the character. I hate the story, I hate the writing, you know. It's such cringe. But anyway, whatever, they're all off now. Yeah, our South African friend is telling the Indian to calm down and look forward to all the speaking tours and book deals that he'll get when he gets back. And of course the Indian is an incel, so he doesn't have a girlfriend. Of course he is. Says, do you think I'll get your girlfriend out of it? Whatever, it doesn't matter, don't care, fuck them, you know. There you go. Oh, then we've got this, what's in the box, this globe from all nations. Yeah, they see the world from underneath, right? So let's show them, you know, this glorious model of the globe, how we see it. Yeah, isn't it nice? Wonder what those lines are. Oh well, I'm sure that won't matter later. Anyway, if you've seen the thumbnail, you've already figured it out. But there we go. Anyway, I wasn't really paying attention at that point, so I didn't really think much of it, except that it was maybe meant to look a bit like the submersible that they came in, but that wouldn't make sense, so whatever, doesn't matter. Then we get this utter cringe, fucking unbelievable cringe, where the general says, in the words of a great man, we can be heroes, let's save the world. Which is, yes, a quote from the movie We Can Be Heroes. I suppose we're supposed to sort of assume this guy has like terrible taste in movies, but I actually have no comment about that whatsoever. I just think it's cringe that he did it at all. So whatever, they get in. Oh, and also the woman in charge of the launch is a woman. Interesting that, isn't it? Yeah, a woman. Fascinating. Anyway, everyone's a woman these days, of course. The master predicted it. Everyone's going to be all girl, you know. But whatever, anyway. Kate starts taking over, and we're supposed to see her at this point as kind of sympathetic, because apparently she's been up for like 2 days. Okay, sure. Whatever you say. Interesting statue of a female gladiator behind her, by the way, as well. Of course. So they get sealed in, and they are, you know, isolated. This thing is, of course, going to go many fathoms and get to the bottom of the ocean. So anyway, Captain Gates, apparently, whoever that is, don't fucking care, whatever. Then we get the first of many sort of interesting little scenes with the crew in the ship just sort of nattering to each other. They're not interesting, sorry, they're boring. That's right. Anyway, oh, the PM is watching, and that's quite funny, you know, because I was thinking at this point, he hasn't really done very much, has he, the Prime Minister? He's just been sitting watching. Quite an easy gig for our boy playing the PM, but oh boy, I am thirsty, sorry. Anyway, so they get the countdown going. Again, it's the woman doing the countdown, whatever, it's all good. And before long, Ted says, he says, "You okay, Ted?" Ted's getting a bit nervous now, and his nice facade is starting to crack. Everyone is dead scared, really worried, and they play it up, like really play it up, like really. Like there's so many long pauses and moments of just quiet contemplation with like just the soundtrack sort of going, doom, you know, and then who cares, because they're in finally, right? Okay, and we are now how many minutes into this fucking episode? I don't even know anymore. A few anyway. Probably like 10, maybe more. Anyway, we keep going, and as I was saying, the banter between them it's okay, I guess. You know, there's a lot of heavy breathing. They do these circular shots. I actually don't mind this. It's a nice use of space with the camera. Have it on a swivel in the middle of the room, going around in a circle as they all say their lines, and it gives you this sort of feeling of claustrophobia, you know, which is standard issue, you know, cinematography, which I shouldn't really be impressed by, because this is the BBC and they should be good enough. But you never know these days, do you? Everyone's a fucking hack, so there you go. Anyway, they're just going around all saying their bit. The Indian guy is infuriatingly nervous. Then we get the this woman who, of course, is perfectly calm through all of it. I can't think who she is or what she's about anymore. I can't remember if she's got a name or anything. We got the Asian chick. I think she's from Unit, isn't she? I don't know. They're amazed that they're already unable to see the sun at 7 minutes. Really? 7 minutes diving straight down? You think you'd still be able to see the sun? I suppose it does give perspective to how deep they're actually going. I suppose it does. But there you go. Anyway, yeah, the banter is, it's kind of irritating. It's not the worst thing ever, but it's not great either. There's the briefcase, of course, just to remind you that that's there. He's staring at it. Then there's, of course, Barclay. He's asking, Ted says, is everything okay? And then no one answers. He says, can I get a yes, Ted? And Barclay goes, yes, Ted. And again, Barclay, the only sort of likable character other than maybe Ted, but Ted is, of course, being very suspicious, very suspicious as it stands at the moment. But anyway, there's all this just small talk. It's not bad, it's the sort of thing you sort of go, people like to do this these days in these sort of modern quippy shows. They sort of never allow actual moments of tension to play out. And yet they'll have long periods of just small talk. It's weird. And yeah, it does look kind of cheap, yeah. Also, their sea suits appear to be like... I don't know what it is with RTD. All of the space suits and suits like that are... They're always just recycled design. They always look the same. You'll see when they get the fucking helmets on, it looks straight out of the Satan pit. But whatever, anyway. That's where we find out that India won the lottery, or lost. Apparently the draw was rigged because people didn't want to go. And then Barclay calms everybody down by pointing out that they are technically pioneers. Technically, they are pioneers. So that's a thing, I guess. I guess they can say that at least. I got that going for me at least. It is what it is. It's okay. It's boring. That's the problem. The problem is, at this point, I was just really bored. And I stopped watching and I went and did some laundry. Because I was more interesting. But, of course, I had to come back and watch it. And eventually, I did get around to finishing it about an hour before the show started, actually. Yeah. I had much better things to do today. That video I made is much, much better. But anyway, there we go. So, they're pioneers. Then there's the first of many, many heavy bangs on the thing. And oh God, what the hell was that? Suddenly Ted ain't so calm after all. So much for the fun demeanor. Everyone else is just irritating the hell out of me at this point, except Barclay, of course, who just keeps calming everybody down instead of the general of the military. Who is now playing like cuckman to Barclay, the fucking logistics guy. It's bizarre how quickly everyone has decided that he's the leader in this, just because the fish chick decided that he is the guy they want to talk to. I mean, do with that what you want. Anyway, then, just as you're getting to the point where you can barely handle the boredom anymore, they're talking about what they get to eat when they go back up and stuff like that. It's all standard stuff, I suppose it's kind of cute in places, but again, it's just get on with it. So then we get the best scene in the show. This is the best scene in the whole episode by a long way. It's the Prime Minister's office, and Unit has not been invited, but Kate has found out anyway somehow and made it there. So she points out that it would have only taken a phone call, and Unit are supposed to have a voice in any emergency discussions. But the PM is like, oh yeah, well, sorry, we started a little early. So some of them aren't even here. They're remote. Yeah, okay, great. Maybe they're from other countries, mate, Anyway, she says with respect, it's a phone call. PM ain't very happy. She ain't very happy. So then we get military guy from the US here who says, that they rely on the maritime trade and they're going to defend themselves any way they have to. We've got sonic weapons that we're prepared to use if we have to, which can possibly disable or destabilize the sea devils, because I'm not calling them homo fucking aqua. That is so lame, it's unreal, and it's not even correct taxonomy, so we're not doing that. But yeah, so the sea devils are apparently vulnerable to sonic attacks. Fair enough, I suppose. Most things are. Then potentially real weapons would be able to be used if they hit them first with the sound. Kate's not impressed, of course. Kate, the head of the Unified Intelligence Task Force, which has its own army, is not into weapons in this potential war that might break out at any moment. No, she's 1,000,000% pacifist. Give them whatever they want. Give them the ocean. Give them all the water in the world. And what about us? Fuck us. Wow, okay, Kate. I can see why the Prime Minister doesn't want you around, honestly. I'm really starting to hate Kate, man. Anyway, they go on about that. How they could fuck up the Homo Aqua bitches, whatever they are. Homo Aqua. Okay, I did say it. Whatever, anyway, we'll move on. So, it gets to this point where they've all been talking about weapons for about a minute now, and Kate goes, sorry, why are we discussing weapons? Our focus is on diplomacy. It's like, what an incredibly naive thing to say. Like, as if diplomacy has ever happened without some kind of backup plan, usually involving an awful lot of dead people. Like, I'm sorry, but that is just the way of the world. These guys have already rained down trash on our cities, dropped the Titanic on New York, and destroyed many buildings and killed people. And you're like, why are we talking about weapons? We should be diplomatic. Fucking hell, love. You are brainless. Anyway, you see this guy here, right? I'm starting to really like this guy. Because he is so, like, malevolent. And he's just getting off on it. He is having a wonderful time being evil and plotting and sneaky and devious and smiling to himself. This smirking, shit-eating grin of his. You know, just to say, oh, well, you know, we can always nuke the bastards. You know, that kind of thing. It's cartoon. It's just a cartoon. This is Dick Dastardly level evil. This is mustache twirling, top hat wearing, tie you to the train tracks, vaudevillian evil. It's fucking childish. And it's ridiculous that it doesn't belong here at all, but it is going to be here because it's Russell T. Davies. So he writes like a giant child. So we're going to go on and get on with it. Anyway, the PM basically counters to Kate's naivety by saying wars are won. Kate, you know, we sit in this room and we win or lose wars in this room. There, you know, while these fish were sleeping in the sea, we crawled out and conquered the planet. We got out of the sea. You know, we built a civilization, and this guy with the shit-eating grin says, we built a civilization where water, you know, grows our crops and keeps us alive, which is 100% true. She says it keeps you in business. Ooh. Wow. When did Kate Lethbridge Stewart become a communist? Okay. So people are not allowed to make money? Like, what the fuck? If this guy wasn't doing it, somebody else would, Kate. Somebody else would. Are you actually this naive? How in the world are you in charge of UNIT with that level of idealistic naivety? That is insanity to me. I can't actually comprehend it. I cannot comprehend it. It's bollocks. So yeah, so she goes on a little capitalism blah rubbish, and that's it. Then this brown lady agrees with her. I don't know who she is. I don't know if she's been in another episode or not. I don't know. I don't remember if this guy's been in another episode. So whatever. Anyway, and It just strikes me as incredibly naive, you know. So, okay, Kate, so then what we're supposed to do then? Abandon all the water? You know? Aren't we made of water, Kate? As humans, aren't we like half? I mean, I'm like 70% water, and a woman is like 50%, 55% water. So what are we supposed to do? Just, you know, suffocate. What are we supposed to do? Just dry out, you know, waste away. You're going to help us evolve in a few days, Kate, so we don't need water anymore? Seriously, it sounds like we'd have had a better fucking chance with Davros in command. This is absolute nonsense. She's literally throwing the species under the bus. All right, whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter because the brown lady points out that Kate might be right here, and you know, there's all this stuff we could be doing, and we could get help with the climate crisis that, again, there's no evidence of anywhere that any normal person can see in the world, never has been. And all of the doomsaying over the last 30 years or so that the world is going to end by 2020, the world is going to end in 2012, the world is going to end. Well, I'm still sitting here and I'm saying fuck you. So there you go. Anyway, doesn't really matter at this point because all they care about is either making money or apparently fixing the climate, which is, again, massively naive. Then they mentioned treasure. Oh, we could get the treasure from the ocean. Yes, that's right. And then Kate says, excuse me, this is a diplomatic meeting, not a pirate raid or whatever fucking... Okay. But then the brown lady says, yes, well, this is just what the West does best, isn't it? Colonize and plunder. Oh my God, the cringe is off the... Couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe he actually put that in an episode. Even RTD isn't normally that fucking on the nose. You just colonize. Yeah, you know what? I've had enough of this. Yeah, that is it. All right. Do you know what happened to the countries that the West invaded and colonized? They became better. They improved. They are now in better positions than the countries that did not get colonized by the West. Not that there are many of them. The ones that, for example, the Spanish colonized, they took the gold, fucked the women, and left. That's why it took people like the Chinese and the Americans to come and sort out the Philippines. Go to Malaysia or Singapore, where the British conquered, took their wives, and built roads and infrastructure and courthouses. And guess what? They are superpowers. Leaders on the global stage. The best thing that ever fucking happened to these places was the Western colonists. All right? Fucking grow up. Anyway, there you go. It's not like we can do anything about it now, but this seething bitch is just like, you Westerners, you colonizers. It's like, oh, shut up, you tart. Anyway, can't be bothered with it. And there you go. Yes, indeed, they got rid of cannibalism in America as well. Yes, we did a lot of things that actually helped improve the lives of the locals. Like we brought them horses and taught them to ride them and things like that. Anyway, it goes on, and we do eventually get to the elephant in the room, that men are 70% water and 55% for women. Although they don't actually say that, they say everybody is 60% water because, of course, there's no difference between men and women in Russell T. Davis's universe. Complete bollocks. We find out, and I sort of hadn't quite clocked it yet, but the smug French bitch is back. She's back even though she got dishonorably kicked out of the fucking diplomatic room in Imperial House because she was leaking to the press, and even Kate calls that out. But, you know, there we go. It just goes on like this. Mr. Smug says, you know, if you're trying to keep the peace, you've already failed. And he's still kind of smiling. Kind of. The PM looks completely unable to do anything about it. But then he does say, you know, Kate, if you're not going to help us, we do have other options besides unit. Oh, do you? Then the French woman says, if you're not on side, we might have to reconsider our options. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. And there's Mr. Smiley again. He's just having a wonderful time being an evil bastard. It's really, really funny, man. It's really fucking funny. This fucking guy, he just loves it, man. He's like, I'm going to make all this money and kill those fish. Oh, I better not be too obvious, so I'll just smile where everyone can see me. You know, it's so stupid. Guys, come on. I'm expecting to hear behind him. Fucking Muttley, where are you, Muttley? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Kate's getting increasingly outraged as we get these. Look, she's doing it now too. There's this shit-eating grin, like as everyone in the room turns and they, you know, we've got to put mankind first. We've got to do this. The Prime Minister has no power here. You know, the lobbyists are in control. Oh dear, these people aren't in charge. They're not military. His companies are pumping sewage into the seas and making this problem worse. Oh, Kate's so angry. She's furious now. She's absolutely beside herself. But everyone else is just smiling these evil, malevolent, patronizing smiles that are so telegraphically evil. Like, come on. If you walked into a room in like literally the deep state, if you could find it and find them, and you're sitting around, you got like Bill Gates and George Soros and all these fuckers sitting around together, and they're not going I just can't believe that. Come on. They must at least semi-believe that what they're doing is for some good from their perspective, and not, in fact, just be these two-dimensional, one-dimensional, shit-eating, smirking, evil bastards. It's so amateurish. So amateurish. And Liz Kate is absolutely outraged now. You all, oh God, no one does moral indignation like freaking Jenna Redgrave or whatever her bloody name is. Oh God, I'm tired of her now. I'm so tired of her. Watching her mouth crease up with those fucking wrinkles that Arab bloke has to kiss. It's doing my head in. Suck a lemon. Anyway, she was so likable in the beginning as well. She was so humble. And now she's so arrogant. And it doesn't matter anyway, because eventually she's faced with this shot. This is the best shot in the whole thing. Look at these bastards. Look. They're just literally like, you have no power here, Lethbridge Stewart. It's so fucking Palpatinian evil, you know. It's just, now, young Skywalker, you will die. You know, fucking vaudeville. Anyway, that just tickled me. That was the best bit of the episode for me, definitely. I couldn't believe how ridiculous it was that they are just so evil, you know, these capitalist pig dogs, you know. But there we go. Anyway, I guess Comrade Kate is going to go back to figuring something else out. But she is bafflingly naive. But just in case she hasn't noticed, you know, they are all really, really evil. Apart from the Prime Minister, who is useless. Back on the ship, nothing we care about. They're still going down. They're still going down. They're still going down. Something about hostages. Are they going to take us hostages? Oh, they're not going to take us hostages. We'll figure something out because I'm not going to let my kid live through a war. Well, you've already let your kid be exposed to rains of trash, but you know. And to be fair, you're not the best parent anyway. You've got a fat trans kid, so you know you're not doing a great job, bruv. Anyway, the woman there says, "I never had kids, but if I get out of here, I'm going to call my brother." Guess it's a little too late for you then, dear. Oh well, good for you. Anyway, they all think about the things they're going to do as we get another clatter to the tank. They don't know how deep they are. Then the South African guy talks about watching this show where they made a person out of pig parts and then sent them to the deep, and it just turned into slop. I don't want to turn into slop. So his calm, friendly, happy-go-lucky demeanor is utterly gone now. Doesn't matter anyway. It's all just the same. It's more of the same. Back in the interesting part of the episode. Back in the Legion of Doom, you know. Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom, the fucking capitalists are all together talking to the PM now that Gemma Redgrave is gone. And the capitalist guy, the shit-eating, smiling guy, comes up to the prime minister who's, oh, he's so stressed out that I would live to see such times, you know. I promised my child I would leave this country better than I found it. Fucking hell. No, you didn't. Shut up. Nobody becomes prime minister that way. Unless we get Prime Minister Trump or something, maybe. But who knows? Anyway, we get this, you know, this line where he goes, you know, I know you respect my opinion, Prime Minister, or maybe it's just my money. Are you serious, RTD? I know it's Pete McTeague writing this, but it's Russell T Davis, right? Are you serious? He's actually going to walk up to the Prime Minister and basically tell him to his face that he admires his money. In other words, I know you're corrupt, Mr. Prime Minister. Now allow me to corrupt you further. That is effectively what he says in this scene. What he actually says is, let me guide you. I know you admire my opinion and my money. It's Dick Dastardly. It's Dick Dastardly. He literally is missing his mustache and top hat. I know I keep saying it, but it ain't any less true every time I say it. Anyway, there we go. There's my money. Fucking let me guide you. Take the pressure off. So in other words, you want to be Prime Minister. It's so fucking cringe. And then turns out that they've been working behind the scenes anyway on a new stratagem. That's right. We have a plan, Prime Minister. A plan that's already underway, whether you know about it or not. It's called Severance. Severance. And seriously, when he says it, you are genuinely expecting sort of like dun dun dun, you know, like the fatality music from Mortal Kombat to play when he says Severance, dun dun dun, you know, or a bolt of lightning or something like that. It is so cartoonishly evil. Anyway, whatever. Kate is still here. A boy toy comes over and he starts moaning at her that she needs to sleep. She needs to sleep. Blah blah blah. They're going to lose control. And she can't do that. She says, this is going to be the longest night of our lives. I'm like, bitch, you do remember, like, last year when the god of death came back and destroyed the entire universe until the Doctor fixed that, you know? You do recall 2 masters and an army of Cybermen from Mondas? You remember this stuff, you know? Having to put fucking the Doctor on the Air Force One and make him president of Earth temporarily? You remember when the Earth got stolen? You know, or the... Jesus Christ. Or one of the many Dalek invasions, or when the Cybermen marched out of St. Paul's Cathedral. You know, you might have heard about that. It happened twice. It's fucking nuts, this show. But there we go, mate. Anyway, so she's not going to give up and take a break like she should, as we're looking at a picture of what, it's just a uterus, isn't it? As she, basically, because they want to shut Unit out and she knows it, so she can't go to sleep. She can't go to sleep. She must keep working no matter what, even if it puts her in danger. Anyway, whatever, we get to the bottom and they actually have finally landed and they have got no communication. Suddenly, they are pulled, it seems, rapidly at a much faster rate, far, 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 far deeper. Everything's out of control. They don't know what's going on, and then they're plunged into total darkness. No one can communicate with them. They haven't got any idea where they are. The people on Earth or on the surface haven't got a fucking clue where they are. The Humies unit are going, oh no, they're descending so fast. No communications. Oh, I guess they may have arrived. For all they fucking know. Unsurprisingly, because there would be only one way for this to end without them all dying immediately, the pressure is mysteriously normal. It's effectively 1G and normal pressure, like the surface of the Earth at sea level. Anyway, the problem is, these guys are all sitting around doing this, blah, 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 and I don't care. I just don't care about it anymore. I don't care what's happened. I'll skip to the end. They put their helmets on, and there you go. Boom. See? Looks straight out of the Satan pit. And so they all get out. The door gets opened, and of course, instead of water coming in, it's air. O2. I still don't care what's happening. But, you know, as expected, they all go out. Finally, the military man himself takes point, as he should, But there was some deliberation over that. But whatever, anyway, they get out into this, what looks like a cave, but it is actually alive. And as they move around, Tovey falls over into the slime and goes, oh, bloody hell. And then they talk about how the atmosphere is absolutely perfect. It's 21 degrees. It's the most perfect, clean air any human has ever breathed since, I would imagine, the Industrial Revolution. I'm sure there's a dig in that. Something about environmental blah blah in there, but they don't linger on it mercifully. So then we have this giant membrane above them that's kind of moving like that. So there isn't actually a roof. That's just where the water's been stopped somehow. And Tovey's walking around. Oh, look at this membrane. And he sort of touches the snot membrane. Notices that there's probably 20 billion tons of water behind it. And it's just a membrane. And if it tore, they'd all be crushed to death. You know, it would be like if you were in space, effectively, just without the freezing immediately and burning immediately. But certainly you would explode and turn to just a big blob of slush, you know. But there you go. So I guess it is what it is at this point. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and pretty soon they get this funny flashing light, some shit. And finally, Salt herself shows up to meet them. She shows up herself. She doesn't have any servants or... I mean, she must be a figure of some importance among these people, right? So far, she's the only one we've seen with a human bloody face. So, there you go. Anyway, she goes herself, I suppose, maybe as a gesture of goodwill or whatever, since she has asked Barclay himself to come. I suppose it makes sense. They ask where they are, and her response is literally, deeper than any human has ever been. It's like, you are so aware that you're in a TV show, aren't you? You are so aware. Russell T. Davies should be writing fucking pantomimes, not television. This is trash. Whatever, anyway. There's no roof. It doesn't matter. You can remove your apparatus. We get this scene where she approaches Barclay. None of them will take their helmets off. She says, Barclay, will you trust me? And once again, Barclay stands for a second, and for the third time in the show goes, yeah. Or okay, or whatever he says. Anyway, that's it, I suppose. She takes off his helmet, and boom, there we are. He breathes. Everyone else is okay. General Pierce, or whatever his name was, you know, too busy thinking about how to sound way too American in the next scene to have realized he probably should have been the one to take his helmet off first. But never mind. Anyway, they all believe it now that Barclay's done it first. All right. So there we go. This guy is like, everyone here has main character syndrome for Barclay. Everyone. No, it's not oxygenated water. It's oxygen. They're effectively in a giant bubble. No, I don't know how at all. I don't know why. I might as well ask why the sea devils can breathe oxygen. But I guess I'd have to go back to 1972 to ask that question. So I guess it's not really the fault of the show. But there we go. Anyway, they move through these sort of tunnels, and our boy here, I don't know what he says, it's probably something. Oh, he doesn't want to take his helmet off. Right. Okay. That's weird. Red flag. But anyway, whatever. So they continue moving, and she's much nicer now. Much, much nicer. And suddenly, as we proceed, we get this... oh, no, you know what? It's this first, right? So back in Kate's apartment, where Arab man was basically able to convince her to go home and go... Oh, no, this is that scene. Fuck, right. So he's basically telling her, you're going to shut down soon. You're going to wait for 48 hours. You've got to go home. She won't go home. He tells her, if you don't go home, I'm going to report you. And then they have to let go of their hands because someone walks past, which frustrates him no end. Cuck. Anyway, whatever. It's like not as if everyone doesn't know that he's banging Kate. Why? I mean, I get it, right? But how old is he meant to be? He looks 10 to 15 years younger than her. What is he seeing in her? I mean, I don't mean to be nasty or anything, but she's too old to give him babies. You know, he looks like he may be about 35, maybe 40. How old is she? Let's have a look. let's take a moment. I know this is going to be the longest review ever, but oh, fuck it, whatever. Born 1965. She's 60. He's shacking up with a 60-year-old woman. Now, you can say what you like about this cat, but I don't believe for a fucking second that he is 60 years old. Ooh, what's his name? Kate Lethbridge Stewart's boyfriend. What's he? Christopher Ibrahim, of course. Of course. Played by... Well, he did used to look a lot younger, actually. Played by Alexander Devrient. Oh, yes, that's his name, isn't it? Alexander Devrient. Age... let's see. We know he's a lot harder to find out stuff about. He's 39! He's younger than me! I'm sorry, alright? Look, we all did our MILF phase when we were young, okay? But that's when the MILFs were like 39. You know? Not 35 or 40. Not when you are, and she is retirement age. How did this happen? It must be a power fantasy. It doesn't make sense. It's bizarre. Anyway. Oh my god, he's shagging her. Okay, I guess some guys are into gilfs. You know, is what it is. I'm not here to judge. No, sorry. I am here to judge. What the fuck are you doing, RTD? Anyway, so we carry on. Bioluminescent organisms, blah, blah, blah. Sunlight is equally impossible to... She says that the world of steel and metal and rock and concrete and sunlight and glass is impossible to them. Just like this world of photoluminescent membranes is... Fuck, you've all seen this kind of thing before. You've seen 1,000 of these kinds of things before. So I don't need to explain. They then say, is this where you live? And she says, no, we're actually nomads, which means that all the oceans are our home. Oh, great. So you want control of all the oceans on Earth without actually committing to any of them. How very globalist of you. Funny that, isn't it? Anyway, I will say one thing that I don't mind about this sequence. Everyone other than Barclay is really shitting themselves, apart from maybe General Pierce, whatever. General Pierce is, you know, he's doing okay. Everyone else is quietly having a panic attack, which is good, because they would. That's fine, I suppose. Any case, as our two main characters leave, they take a corner, and suddenly Barclay discovers that they've left the others behind, and the tunnels have moved. They've changed the walls. Now, as oh baby, I hope you're ready. Now, Salt tells him, now it's just you and me. Oh, that's right, baby. Oh, that's right, baby. So, the second that he realizes they're alone, he says, I feel like I know you. Oh, shit. He says, or I'm gonna know you. Oh, shit. Or I've known you forever. Oh, shit. The cringe. The cringe. No. It's so bad. And she, of course, understands. This is fucking Avatar. This is Fern Gully. This not Fern Gully. This is Pocahontas. It's Romeo and Juliet. It's West Side Story. It's Wet Side Story. Oh god, here we go. So she touches his face and says, "You're so warm and rough." And the way she says it, you see that look on her face? Rough. Yeah, buddy. He's gonna fuck that fish. That's right. And then it somehow gets worse. It somehow gets worse. He goes, "Can I touch you?" He literally says it. He goes, "Can I touch you?" And immediately, if your brain doesn't immediately go to some kind of like masturbatory, then you are not watching the same show as me, because it's very heavy, this scene. Very slow. Very, very romantically and sexually charged. It's cringe. He says, "Can I touch you?" and so she lets him. And where she put her hand on his face, that's how he picks up women, right? Where she touched his face, he goes straight for the shoulder, which I don't know if that's more intimate or less intimate. In fact, she's a fish, so I've got no idea. For all I know, her fucking gills are there, and she's currently unable to breathe. I don't know. Anyway, so Jesus Christ. She says, "What do you feel?" And he says, "Strength." Fucking hell. Strong woman. And then he goes, "Beauty." Oh, and she's smiling at him. Oh, no. No. Okay. Since we're recording this on a live stream, I guarantee you guys can't guess what the next thing she'll say will be. And I'll give you 10 seconds for someone to just guess. What would she say is the reason that they are having this exchange and they feel the way they feel? Connected. Come on, you can do it. What do you think? What do you think? What's it going to be? What's the line that she's going to say to explain the closeness that they are inexplicably feeling for each other, despite being totally different species, from totally different sides of the planet, from totally different cultures and species and everything that can't possibly have connected them in any way, shape, or form, but mysteriously has? What is she gonna say is the line? That is why you don't want to guess? All right, I'll tell you. She says, without a shred of irony, "The tides have drawn us together." Yeah, this is so shit. I'm having a great time. I wasn't when I was watching it, but I am now. Thanks, everybody. The undercurrents pulling us closer, she says. She says something like, "If you calm your mind, you'll feel the power," or something. I can't remember. I just wrote in my notes, "If you can calm your mind, you'll arrive in an Avatar movie." So there we go. The tides have drawn us together. No! Right, Sardoc? God. All right. He says that you'll be able to feel their power because his emotions are so loud. He says, "Can you read my thoughts?" So now he's Lois Lane. "Can you read my mind?" Oh God. Anyway, so she says, "Human emotions are so loud. How can we not hear them?" So she's a fucking Vulcan. He goes, "I don't want to mess this up." That's his great line. "I don't want to mess this up. I don't. The tides have drawn us together. I don't want to mess this up." That's how you meet her poetic, over-the-top language. "I don't want to mess this up." She says, "You have good intentions." Jesus Christ. So, anyway, there's the line. Oh, it's so bad. It's so cringe. It's so cringe. "Your heart is racing. I don't want to mess this up. Billions of people are counting on us." She says, "We could make a difference, you and I." Oh, yeah? How are you going to do that? By giving his fat tranoid daughter a fucking fish sister? Is that what you're going to do? A transhuman? That's where it's going, isn't it, Russell? It says, "End the conflict between our species." It's like, okay, Darth. Join me and we can end this destructive conflict. Fucking hell. Tone it down a bit, love. Fucking hell. Anyway, that's it. I know we are like just stealing lines from Romeo and Juliet, Wet Side Story, all that stuff, you know. And then you just about get see that leaning. You see it? Do you see? I'm telling you, Wet Side Story. It's happening. I guarantee the next episode. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll be reviewing it. So he leant in close. I am now convinced this is going to become Wet Side Story. And the only thing that I care about now is that the evil guys become more evil and that we get Wet Side Story. Because if I'm going to have to watch a man make love to a fish, I better be able to fucking grift it. Anyway, I'll tell you what though. Tovey is doing his damnedest to pull this off. And I think just about makes it for one character, his character. Everything else is insane. But somehow, Barclay Pierre Dupont, played by Russell Tovey, is able to pull it together in a way that makes me somehow able to survive it. Anyway, there we go. We have assembled. They go through into the room, and of course, we get this huge drawn-out shot, which we're supposed to be like... oh my god, as viewers. But of course, what were you expecting if not a giant assembly of thousands of fishmen? What were you expecting? This is exactly what I was expecting, Russell. I would have been annoyed if we didn't get this shot, you know, but whatever. And Barclay's like, oh, this is how it felt for you when you came to visit us. And there's this like really ominous music, which is funny considering the fact that the whole show is making these guys the good guys and the humans the bad guys. The music is extremely declamatory and aggressive, you know? Anyway, whatever. So we're supposed to be stunned by this shot, but we're not. Welcome to our domain. And I thought, okay, well, that's the end. But no, because now two things are going to happen that are actually going to further the plot for once. But of course, they're going to be exactly what you expect. Exactly. Well, maybe not this, but down under the sea, it will be exactly what you expect. So, Kate's on her laptop because she still won't stop. Matey boy's here. Ibrahim. Finally learned your name, mate. Just in time. With no support. He's bitching that they have to keep their relationship a secret. Mate, if I was shagging a 60-year-old, I'd be keeping it a secret. But, you know, that's me, you know. Anyway, he basically tells her she's amazing, you know. How do you find it so easy to keep us a secret? She's saying, we're literally in the middle of this fucking situation right now. We don't matter. And he's like, no, we do matter. Blah, blah, blah. He says, can you not be commander-in-chief for just a few hours? Her phone rings, and he says, leave it. But she doesn't. In about a minute, she is going to regret that decision for the rest of her life, however long that ends up being. So she stands as it's Bingham on the phone, you know, the rocket-powered disabled woman. Fucking Russell! Nothing's happening, no all quiet, nothing's happening, there's nothing going on. Thanks. But she has discovered a repeated word. In all of the diplomatic communications, they've managed to decipher a single word through all of it. And that word, of course, is the word that you are expecting it to be. It is, of course, severance. That's right. Severance. Severance. First time in the whole show, 15 minutes earlier at most. So, you know, this is how we're going to go. They've discovered the existence of the word severance in all of the messaging. And this is all just happening 14 times in 2 days. And they never heard it before. Just in time for a red dot to work its way onto Kate Lethbridge Stewart's head. Yeah, that's right. This is obviously part of Operation Severance to kill Kate Stewart. And of course, our good boy Ibrahim, clueless though he is, tackles her to the ground. And of course, as the phone is still on and Bingham's going, where are you? What's going on? Kate, Kate, Kate. She sits up and she's covered in blood. But it's not her blood. Oh no. Oh no. Look at our mate's chest under his arm. Oh dear. And that's around about the time that our smiley, happy-go-lucky South African racist, white South African racist, decides it's the opportune time to present the gift of the earth to the fish. And for some reason, he does it with this slow, angry, evil look on his face as the music climbs to a dramatic climax. And he tells her as it begins to glow, and she looks scared. And no one else has any idea what's going on, and there's not much that anyone could do about it. Even though they're all there and they brought him here. And this thing somehow made it onto the ship with them. He tells them, he tells them this war of yours or something. Anyway, it's cutting back and forth between the two. As you've seen there, we get this shot of Ibrahim. He's been shot right in the fucking heart or lung. Right in the fucking chest, despite the fact that, you know, when he tackled Kate, he was, you know, let's have a look again. The dot is on her head, right? The shot happens here. The glass shatters. There's no squib. The bullet was aimed at her head. Fucking awful. Fucking awful. But whatever, we're supposed to feel sad for this guy that we've known for what, 2 seasons of Doctor Who now, and this as he dies, frankly, just straight up dies as she's, you know, I love you, you know, keep breathing, I love you, I'm gonna get help, stay with me, I love you. She finally says, I love you, and he dies. Obviously, he dies. And as he dies, don't leave me, don't leave. You know, it's really awful. But the thing is, right, the only thing I know about this guy is that he's a weirdo who dates a woman at retirement age when he himself is still only like 39. I know that about him. That is all I know about him. So I don't care about him at all. I never did. He was just a guy in Doctor Who. An annoyance that I had to keep looking at this stupid fucking racial, inter-ageist relationship between him and Kate Stewart. I didn't give a shit. I've never given a shit. For even a damn second. This has been an annoyance that I am now glad is over. So, womp womp, your boyfriend's dead. Good luck getting another one. Anyway, active shooter, and she hasn't made sure the area is clear. And that will come into play in a moment. But in the meantime, our very friendly South African tells Fish Lady, your war is lost. And smiles and hands her this thing that starts to glow as Russell Tovey starts to clock, you know, the issue. And Kate realizes that, yes, active shooter, and she's done nothing to clear the area, as the rifle is trained on her head. So there we go. I guess we'll find out what happens to her next time. That is literally the end for Kate in this episode anyway. And indeed, at least. So Russell, sorry, it's not Russell, it's fucking Barclay, isn't it? Tackles, you know, our mate here, Mr. Ortel, or whatever his fucking name is. Ted the racist. And And leave it up to South Africa, of course, to break down diplomatic relations between interspecies, you know. But anyway, there we go. And the orb falls down and begins to open, begins to glow. And oh no! Something happens! And everything goes white! And we get to the credits, because of course that would be telling us what happens if they told us what happens. So we'll have to find out next time. Obviously, the 4th episode, as far as I'm aware, has already released as well. I will be watching it probably tomorrow to do a review for y'all. We'll obviously be talking about it on WTF Live, no doubt, as well. But there you go. I don't know how to score this one, because as you can no doubt tell, I've had much more fun with it than the other two because of how bad it is. So I guess I'm going to give it 3 out of 10. That sounds about right. The show is awful. The show is terrible. That means I've retroactively changed my 4 for the first episode to a 2 or 3 or whatever it was. A 2 for the last episode and a 3 for this one. Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. It gave me a chuckle. I've had a good time talking to you about it. So hopefully you've had a good time as well. What do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget though to question everything. Respect the fans. Like and subscribe to support the channel. Come watch the live streams. Follow me on X. Join the GRIFT Force and the Discord. Links are below, and check out some of these other videos. I'll chat to you next time.